So self-assured, as though he had all the answers. But I was disturbed by his attitude. He was so bitter and opinionated. I knew that Zimri didn't really expect me to go to Phineas, but that's what I decided to do. That was one of the best things I ever did. It probably saved my life.
Excuse me, Phineas. May I speak with you?
Of course, young man. Please sit down. What is your name?
My name is Jamin, of the tribe of Simeon.
I am happy to meet you, Jamin. Are things well with you?
Yes, things are well with me, but I'm just a little confused. You are a priest and a teacher in Israel. You are older than I am, so I thought that you could help me.
I will try. What troubles you?
Well, I was wondering how you felt about the Moabites.
What do you mean?
I was thinking about why Jehovah told Moses that we should not fight against them. Do you think that God wants us to become their friends?
It's true that Jehovah told Moses that we are not to wage war against Moab, but he also explained the reason. It is because God has determined that they will have an inheritance of land. We are not to take the land that he has apportioned to them. He did not say anything about befriending them.
But is there anything wrong with doing that?
I think you know the answer to that, Jamin. Do they worship the true God?
Well, no. They have their own way of worship.
Do they live by the high standards contained in the law given to our nation 40 years ago?
No.
Then what makes you think that Jehovah would want us to befriend them?
Well, perhaps we can learn from them. Maybe they can help us in some way. And maybe we can help them learn about Jehovah.
We will have to see how Jehovah directs matters. However, when it comes to those whom we choose to befriend, we need to be careful. It is true that Moab is not among the nations that we were directed to act against. Yet the Moabites worship Baal, the same God as the Canaanites. Jehovah has clearly warned us that if we seek friendship with the inhabitants of the land, we risk becoming corrupted by their false worship.
And that would bring Jehovah's disfavor. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You well know what was written on the tablets Moses brought down from the mountain of God. God's own finger wrote the words, "You must never have any other gods against my face, because I, Jehovah, your God, am a God exacting exclusive devotion." For us to serve other gods would be to reject the one who brought us out of Egypt with a strong hand, who made us into a nation, who gave us righteous laws, who protected us and fed us these 40 years in the wilderness, and who will soon bring us into the land of promise. How can the true God tolerate rivalry from the false, worthless gods of this land? How can Jehovah bless our nation if we reject his righteous laws? It is unthinkable.
But surely if a person has strong faith in Jehovah, he will not be misled into false worship.
Think carefully about that, Jamin. Would you say my grandfather Aaron had strong faith?
Of course. Jehovah appointed him as high priest.
Aaron certainly had good reasons for having faith. He stood beside Moses and watched as Jehovah humbled the mighty Pharaoh and proved himself superior to the gods of Egypt. Aaron walked, even as I did, through the parted waters of the Red Sea. Yet, what happened not long after that? When Moses was in the mountain of God, the people, our own people, talked Aaron into making a golden calf. They began to celebrate and said that it was a festival to Jehovah. They were deceiving themselves. They bowed down before the calf idol. They were imitating the false religion practiced in Egypt. Many lost their lives because of God's displeasure. My grandfather wept whenever he talked about it. He bitterly regretted how foolish he had been.
I'm not sure that I see your point.
My point is this. If Aaron could be lured into false worship by our own people, people who had witnessed Jehovah's miracles in Egypt, how much more so might we be lured into wrongdoing by those who have not come to know Jehovah at all? We must carefully guard against anyone who could endanger our relationship with Jehovah. Think about what is at stake here, Jamin. If we submit to Jehovah's training and obey his laws, our people will be elevated to a far higher moral standard than any other people. We can become a nation of kings and priests. In time, this will result in a blessing to all nations. That is what Jehovah promised our forefather Abraham. Just how this will come about, we do not yet know. What we do know is that we now stand on the threshold of the land promised to our forefather Abraham. Soon we will take possession of it, a land flowing with milk and honey.
But wasn't Egypt a land of milk and honey? Milk and honey along with cucumbers, watermelons, leeks, onions, and garlic? That's what some have said. Do you remember those things, Phineas?
Believe me, Egypt was no land of promise, Jamin. Some became dissatisfied with Jehovah's provisions and grumbled that life was desirable in Egypt. How quickly they forgot. We were slaves in Egypt. Life was bitter, filled with tyranny and oppression. The Egyptians schemed to kill our male children. They appointed cruel taskmasters who forced us to make bricks for their endless building projects. The Egyptians abused their power over us and gave no heed to our tears. When Moses approached Pharaoh with the idea that we should go into the wilderness to sacrifice to Jehovah, Pharaoh responded by oppressing us all the more. Not only did we have to make the same amount of bricks as before, but we also were ordered to find the straw with which to make them. It was an impossible demand. The Egyptians must have realized that.
What did you do?
We protested, of course, but it did no good. There was no reasoning with them. They would only scream at us, "You are relaxing, you are relaxing," and then they would beat us. I was just a boy, but I had to work along with everyone else. One of my young friends was weak. His name was Ahai. He became so sick and exhausted that he fell asleep while working during the day. One of the taskmasters saw him sleeping and began to lash him with a whip. Ahai's mother rushed to protect him, and the master whipped her too. Our men could only watch helplessly. They knew that if they dared to raise a hand against our oppressors, the punishment would be instant and brutal. Of course, there were many acts of oppression.
That must have been terrible.
Jehovah rescued us from that land. We are a free people now. He has given us his laws to guide us and train us. Now we stand at the frontier of the land of promise. We face nations that are more numerous than we are. Yet Jehovah will certainly give us the victory over them. Jehovah will defeat them, just as he defeated Pharaoh and his mighty army at the Red Sea. However, we must be careful to do all that Jehovah has instructed. If we reject God, he will reject us.
What Phineas said was right. I knew that. Still, I was very curious about the foreign women. Zimri had arranged to meet some of them at the edge of our camp. Zabdi and Bela were eager to go with him, so I went along, just to see for myself. Those women had no interest in our welfare. How foolish we were. I do not know what they discussed among themselves as they waited for us, but I suppose it went something like this.
It's almost dark, Kasbai. Do you think that the Israelite men will really come?
I'm sure of it. Zimri will do whatever I ask. He is captive to my feminine charms.
Do you think that we can pursue persuade them to come to the festival tonight.
We must try our best. The head ones of Moab and Midian are depending on us. If we can get them to break their foolish laws on sex, or involve them in the worship of our god Baal, then their god Jehovah will fight against them. He will destroy their entire nation, and we will not have to lift a finger against them. Then all that they have will be ours.
I've been told that they have gold and silver and beautiful clothes. After those 10 plagues, the Egyptians were afraid. They gave the Israelites whatever they asked for.
Soon, those precious things will belong to our people. If we are successful, we will be given a generous share. What a victory this will be for Baal!
I still can't believe that they have a law that says it's wrong to lie with a woman unless you're married to her.
How restrictive!
This will be an interesting challenge for us.
But not a difficult one. These men know nothing of the pleasures of life. From what Zimri tells me, they have known only one type of food all their lives.
Wasn't it something called manna?
Yes, these men are so backward, even a watermelon impresses them. They know nothing about wine, nothing about our music, and nothing about women. I tell you, my sisters, they are to us as children. Hush! I hear them coming now. Get ready.
Well, hello.
Zimri, my mighty one.
Greetings, ladies.
We are happy to see you.
We wish you peace.
Ladies, these are my friends, Zabdi, Jamin, and Bila. This is Kazma. I told you about her. She's an important woman among the Midianites, the daughter of the head of a clan.
And you are the son of a chieftain. Why, Zimri, your friends appear to be nearly as powerful as you are. No wonder the peoples of Canaan tremble before you.
These are mighty ones indeed.
We hope your friends will come to the festival with us tonight, Zimri. You are coming, aren't you? You promised.
Of course. My friends, let us all go together. Many of our brothers will be there.
Yes, do come. We want to welcome you with good food, sweet wine, and happy
It
songs.
sounds good to me. Let's go. I'm ready. What of you, Jamin?
Well, I don't know.
My cousin is afraid of women.
I am not.
You're not afraid of me, are you, Jamin? See how soft I feel in your strong hand? Do your Israelite women have hands as smooth as mine? We will have a good time. Did your God not promise you the good things of this land? Let me be your guide. I will personally take care of you and protect you from all danger.
It isn't that. How can I explain it? I just don't want to displease Jehovah.
Jehovah killed our grandfathers in the wilderness. Do you want to die there also? Come with us.
I don't like that talk, Zimri. Jehovah did not kill our grandfathers. They died because they were unfaithful.
Come with us, Jamin. The music has already begun. Leave the wilderness behind. Come, let us drink wine together.
No, I cannot.
What's wrong with you, Jamin?
Your friend does seem afraid of women.
He's a fool.
Go eat your manna.
Forget about him. Let's be on our way.
It was not easy to run away from that situation. The appeal of having a good time was strong. I was stung by the ridicule of the others. Nobody likes to feel like an outsider. When I got back to my tent, I prayed about the matter. As I was praying, I remembered how Joseph had run away from the advances of Potiphar's wife and how Jehovah had richly blessed him. I also thought about what Phinehas had said to me. Though I could hear the music of the Moabites in the distance, the more I prayed, the more I believed that I had done the right thing. The events that followed convinced me of that.
What happened? Everyone is weeping. The camp is in turmoil.
There is good reason to weep. Jehovah's anger is blazing against our people.
But why?
The men have been going to the camp of the Moabites. They have had sexual relations with the daughters of the people. They have even bowed down to their gods. What an utter lack of appreciation for all the good that Jehovah has done for us. The calamity we spoke about has come upon us.
What can be done?
We must repent and beg for his forgiveness. I have just learned that Jehovah has laid a command upon Moses, and Moses has said to the judges of Israel, "Each one of you kill his men who have an attachment with the Baal of Peor." How is your heart in this matter, Jamin?
My heart is like that of Moses.
We can only pray that Jehovah's mercy will not depart completely from Israel, and that somehow his wrath will be turned aside.
Look! Zimri is coming! With a Midianite woman. He's bringing her into the assembly of the sons of Israel.
Look at Zimri! Has he no shame? Does he not care that Jehovah is enraged? He is bringing that Midianite woman into the camp of the living God. It is as though he wants to taunt Jehovah.
Give me that spear. I will tolerate no rivalry toward Jehovah.
What is Phineas going to do?
He's going after them.
My cousin. My foolish cousin.
Phinehas killed Zimri and Cosbi with the lance. And Jehovah commended Phinehas for his zeal. Although Jehovah did not exterminate our nation, some 24,000 did die on that occasion. I could easily have been among them. Jehovah was merciful. For me, there were many lessons. I learned the folly of worshiping other gods. I also learned the danger of becoming involved with those who do not love Jehovah. The counsel of Phinehas really helped me. Though I foolishly let my curiosity bring me so close to ruin, what he had said helped me to run away before it was too late. The people of Moab and Midian certainly did not love Jehovah, and they did not want to help us. They were seeking their own interests. And what of Zimri? He had allowed his heart to be corrupted by twisted reasoning. I shudder to think how close I came to following him to an early grave, branded as a rebel against Jehovah for generations to come. Instead, because of Jehovah's loving kindness, I have lived to relate this story even to my great-grandchildren. How grateful I am to have seen the fulfillment of Jehovah's promises.